There are many ways to see a lake. You can find one on a map. You can catch one through the trees. Maybe you hear it. Maybe you spot it. Maybe just over a tree line. And move in. You route yourself there. You think it an object of beauty. You drive its perimeter. You stand on its shore. You get in a boat. You catch a fish. You work the oars. You eat the fish. You fiddle and flood the motor. But maybe you know how to swim. You get naked. You wade in or slip from a rock. Maybe you jump. Any which way. You get in. You try to avoid the muck. You momentarily find a stump. And then you think you feel a fish. Now you're in the weeds. You don't like a lake with weeds. But most lakes are lakes with weeds. What you have to worry about is an undertow. What you have to worry about is an algal bloom. When you look at a lake, you feel thirsty. You're just like anybody. You want to drink it down. But when you're in a lake, you're afraid of getting swallowed. You feel its sediments. You feel its beginnings and ends. You feel where it hides its stash. Minerals, metals, organic matter. Garbage from the spring melt. Shit and bone, my friends, and shit. What pushes up from the earth filters down. These are the beginnings and the ends. You know the truth. You, too, are mostly water. Just another body of water. So why are you not a lake? Well, maybe you are. Maybe you are this lake. Maybe you should be afraid. You should be afraid.
Billy, what have you done?
Oh, it's just some stuff out of that box.
What on earth is this?
That's iron ore made from taconite. Contains between 60 and 65% iron.
This what you dig out of the ground on the range?
Well, yes and no. You see, it's like this.
You were born in the Ice Age. You were epic once. And then you were small, and easy and sweet, 90 square acres, 15 miles south of the Big Lake, the biggest glacial holdover, Lake Superior. Paleo-Indians probably hunted caribou around your shores. You like this story. You were simple, but things change.
Couldn't get me on the range.
A member of the tribe dies, and people set her beloved body on a raft, place spearheads on her, and then set her on fire. You're like everything else in the Midwest, pleasant on the surface, even pretty some days. When people get to know you, they tell you you're kind of raw, a little brittle, brutal, pleasant on the surface, and below, metal, too precious, too heavy for your own good.
When she told you about all this, did she have any idea what caused the headaches?
No, she believes she was born with them.
There's an angry, frustrated woman.
They don't know what you've gone through. The pig iron furnace at the mouth of the creek. The gold mine the dentist started, which was pretty much played out in 10 years. It was Michigan's only ever profitable gold mine. Profitable for like 5 years. And for it, you were damned.
Howdy, cowgirl.
Pick him up, Bombre.
Bang, gotcha.
For those 5 years of profit, you got an eternity of tailings piles. Then there was the second dam. Once again, hydroelectric power for the mine, but not that mine, not the gold mine, the iron ore mine from the other side of town. That mine had 2 labs, assay labs they're called, where workers try to isolate and purify a metal. That's always where the trouble is, when one tries to isolate and purify, sometimes adulterate another.
The thoughts of youth are long, long thoughts. What dreams, what feelings shape the pattern that we call the innocence of childhood? We overhear a snatch of talk and think, how grown up and how childish. Who can understand Tommy, even when he tries to tell us how he feels?
By the time the EPA got involved in 1979, these labs had been dumping approximately 40 pounds of mercuric chloride down their drains every year since 1929. It might have been longer too, but the mine's records only went back 50 years. Your problem? The public sewers in the city drained directly into you. There was a time in elementary school you barely remember when you picked up a boy much younger than you, grabbing him by his neck and by the waist of his snow pants, and threw him across the playground. The principal pulled you off the bus and shook you by the shoulders. You can't do that to people, no matter what they say to you. His mom called your mom to ask for money to repair his jacket. Your dad told you his family might burn down your house. You went to bed and listened to the mice in the walls. Your dog had fleas, but you pulled the covers over both of you anyway. You didn't ask for forgiveness. You didn't want it. What your dad said, was that so bad?
We look at their drawings and are amazed at the knowledge and passion and insight that they unwittingly reveal.
Michigan has a statewide fish consumption advisory for all of its 11,000 lakes. And this is because of elevated levels of one thing: mercury. In fact, 13 states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Kentucky, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Minnesota, Maine, all have statewide methylmercury advisories.
What's the matter with you?
Academic papers about mercury sometimes start out this way. Mercury is a unique element that has no essential biological function. What that means is no organism needs it to live, and it itself is not considered alive. Mercury doesn't regenerate, but neither does it deplete. We can't make more of it, but we also can't make it go away. What has changed over the last 500 years is that we keep pulling more and more of it out of the earth and putting it in our air and our bodies. All of our bodies. We like mercury. We love mercury. We've used it in our paints, on our fungicide, pesticide, maggot control. We've used it in our batteries, thermometers, thermostats, barometers, and in fluorescent light. Fluorescent light. In vaccines, dental fillings, ointments, injections, steam baths, and mostly we've used it in our mining. 70% of the mercury cycling around the world today has come from us pulling it up and out of rock and making magic with it. Doctors used to treat syphilis with mercury. The joke that was really not a joke went something like, one night with Venus and a lifetime with Mercury. People with chronic mercury poisoning experience quickening of the heart, loss of sensation in extremities, loss of control over limbs, imbalance, irritability, kidney failure, hair falling out, and teeth loosening up, headaches, tremors, insomnia, gingivitis, tunnel vision. Once mercury is inside of you, only small bits of it ever leave. A little here and there, in our nails, hair, our breast milk. In these last 40 years, just as we've been slowly realizing how very toxic it is, we've also been slowly waking to another reality. No other generation of animal and plant life has ever lived with so much mercury. That is, except for future ones.
This is the faith of the mining companies in the future of the mining industry in the state. A faith that the people will wholeheartedly support such a program.
In Michigan, state law is that every body of water is owned by the people of the state of Michigan. Let everybody wade in. You can't help what comes in from the spring mount. Or can you? You can't help what falls from the sky. Or can you? Welcome. You are an ecosystem of flourish and ache. You blossom and you erode. You can't help who dams you and then dams you again. Are you so sure? This happens everywhere. You aren't special. You are polluted and you are poison. Let everybody see you. They made you. Let everybody wade in and drink you down. 'Cause if you're going down, you won't be the only one.